There is a kind of silence that is not emptiness, but protection, a sacred hush that wraps itself around the soul, guarding what is too fragile, too pure to be exposed. We live in a world that celebrates oversharing, where people spill their hearts to strangers, reveal their wounds for applause, and announce their dreams before they are even born. But the spiritually awakened know that not everything must be said, not everything should be shown, not every truth deserves the light of day. Your soul has chambers even you have not fully explored. So why offer the map to someone who does not value the sacred? There are moments in your life that transformed you, moments when you fell on your knees, when you stared into the void, when you met God in your brokenness. These are not casual tales to tell at dinner. These are holy moments. And when you speak of them to those who cannot hold reverence, you cheapen what was once divine. There are people who will take your secrets and wear them like trophies. They will use your vulnerability as leverage, your openness as ammunition. Not out of evil, but out of ignorance. And ignorance is often more dangerous than malice. When the soul opens too soon, it becomes raw. And when the wrong eyes gaze upon what is raw, they distort it. Keep your spiritual insights close to your chest, not out of pride, but out of honor. Not everything needs to be shared to be real. Some truths grow stronger in silence. Some growth thrives only in solitude. Let the world see the fruit, but not the root. Let them feel the shift in your energy, but they don't need to know the rituals you've practiced, the nights you stayed up crying, the prayers you whispered into the dark. Your healing is not a performance. Your transformation is not a headline. Even your joy, even your peace, must sometimes be protected. Not everyone celebrates healing. Some prefer you broken because it makes them feel whole. Your future, your vision, your calling, guard them in their infancy, because the early stages of destiny are the most vulnerable. They are soft, delicate, like a flame in the wind. Speak too soon, and you risk inviting energies that are not aligned with your purpose. Silence is not silence when it is intentional. It is a form of spiritual warfare. It is a boundary, a sanctuary, a statement that says, I do not owe the world the most intimate parts of me. Speak less, observe more, reveal slowly, if at all. Share with those who have shown they can hold space, because not everyone can, and not everyone should. Some people ask you to open up, not because they care, but because curiosity is their form of control. They want access, not to love you, but to study you, analyze you, define you on their terms. Let them remain curious. There is a deep power in being mysterious, in letting your silence speak, in letting your presence hint at stories untold, your darkness, your shame, your longing, your hunger. All of them are parts of your sacred becoming. Speak of them only when the moment is right and the listener is worthy. Remember, even ancient scriptures were hidden for centuries. Even prophets withdrew into mountains. Even monks retreat into silence. Because the spirit doesn't grow in the spotlight. It grows in stillness, in obscurity, in quiet surrender. And sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is to say nothing. Let your actions carry the weight of your transformation. Let your aura tell the story your lips never will. Let the depth of your peace testify to the wars you've survived. Because the most awakened beings aren't the loudest. They're the calmest. They don't declare their wisdom, they embody it. They don't preach their power, they walk in it, softly, quietly, fully. So never tell these things, not because you're hiding, but because you are choosing to protect the sacred within you. Because in a world that constantly asks you to expose yourself, your silence becomes your rebellion, your privacy becomes your armor, and your stillness becomes your sanctuary. But what about the emotions you still carry? The ones you've never named? They sit quietly beneath the surface, and sometimes the urge to speak them out loud burns like fire in your throat. But not everything that burns needs to be released. Some things must be refined inside you, turned into strength, wisdom, or art, before the world ever sees them. People think speaking is healing, but speaking without protection is exposure. And exposure without care is trauma all over again. Don't let the pressure to be open trick you into spiritual nakedness. There is beauty in mystery. There is dignity in discretion. You owe no one an explanation for how you've survived. You owe no one the blueprint of your soul. Your journey is not a public archive. Keep your love quiet until it blooms. Keep your plans quiet until they're rooted. Keep your grief quiet until it has taught you. Keep your joy quiet until it overflows on its own. We have been taught that everything should be shared, posted, and documented, but sacred things lose their sacredness when they are dragged into the noise. The divine cannot breathe where there is no reverence. Your spiritual safety depends on your ability to withhold, to choose not to reveal, not because of fear, but because you finally understand that not everyone can hold you without harming you. This is not about isolation. This is about selection. Choosing who gets to enter the temple of your soul. Choosing who gets to hear the echoes of your most private prayers. And choosing silence as your act of devotion. Because in your silence lives a language only the divine can hear. And some truths are meant for God's ears alone. You are not cold. You are sacred. You are not hiding. You are honoring. You are not detached. You are deeply rooted in a world no one else can see. Let them wonder, let them guess, let them never fully know, because what they don't know is where your power lives. They will ask you to speak, to explain yourself, to hand over your truths as if they were coins in their pocket, to be spent, discarded, or forgotten. But you are not a story for entertainment. You are not a confession to be consumed. You are a soul in motion, a spirit that has tasted silence so deep. Even your bones remember the stillness. Let them wonder why you're quiet. Let them question what you hide. They don't understand that what you protect is not a secret. It's your sacred ground. When people sense peace in you, they want to trace its origin. But peace isn't found through questions. It's found through presence. And if they can't sit with your silence, they're not ready to hear your truths. There are things you never speak of, not because they're buried, but because they've been transformed. You don't owe the world a live broadcast of your evolution. What you endured in darkness, what you rebuilt in quiet, what you forgave without applause. These are your soul's private victories. They do not need witnesses to be real. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is vanish. Disappear into your own stillness. Withdraw not in bitterness, but in reverence. Because solitude sharpens the soul in ways that speech never could. You don't share the dream while it's still being woven. You don't reveal the wound while it's still bleeding. You don't open your hands before you're ready to let go. They will ask how you got so grounded, why you seem unbothered, why you glow differently. But they were not there when you broke silently, when you sat at the edge of your own destruction and whispered to yourself, "Rise." Let your transformation be quiet. Let your healing be sacred. Let your growth terrify those who only knew you before. Don't tell them how you chose forgiveness over fury. Don't explain why you walked away without revenge. Don't reveal the conversations you had with God at 3 a.m. Let them see only the result, the peace in your eyes, the softness in your step, the steadiness in your voice. This world devours the sacred. It wants to take everything holy and turn it into content, to strip it of its divinity and sell it as spectacle. But you are not here to be consumed. You are here to be preserved, to be aligned, to be whole. Keep the sacred sacred. Keep your rituals quiet. Keep your wisdom unwritten, because not everything is meant to be known. Some truths must only be lived. You see, spiritual safety is not just about avoiding danger. It's about guarding intimacy. It's about knowing what energies to allow in and what voices to shut out. Protect your softness. It took years to recover. Protect your calm. It was born through storms. Protect your light. It was earned in the dark. And if someone asks why you don't speak of your inner world anymore, tell them simply, "My silence is sacred now." You do not walk this world to prove yourself. You walk it to remain whole. And sometimes wholeness requires invisibility. Let them misunderstand. Let them assume. Let them guess wrong. Because the day you stopped explaining yourself was the day you reclaimed your spirit. There is a part of you the world was never meant to touch. Not your voice, not your words, but that silent, eternal self inside. The watcher, the witness, the stillness behind all motion. This is the place you must protect with everything you have. Because once the world enters it, it forgets its shape. It bends to expectations. It conforms to noise. You see, there is a war that no one talks about. Not the war of nations, but the war for your inner life. Every screen, every stranger, every false friend wants a piece of your mind, a glimpse of your soul, a taste of your wounds. But your soul is not content. It is not currency. It is not performance. It is breath. It is fire. It is divine. You must learn to say, no, you cannot come here. No, this belongs only to me. No, not everything is for your knowing. Because the moment you give everything away, you become a shell, present but hollow, seen but not known, heard but no longer felt. Spiritual safety begins the day you realize some people don't want your truth. They want access to your mystery so they can rob it of its power. They want to tame you with sympathy, not heal you. They want to hear your story, not to understand it, but to label it, reduce it, package it. Your pain becomes their entertainment. Your joy becomes their measurement. Your truth becomes their control. But you are under no obligation to unfold for anyone. You do not exist to satisfy curiosity. You do not need to bleed to be believed. You do not need to explain the shape of your survival. Let them wonder how you remain soft. Let them guess how you learned silence without bitterness. Let them stay outside the temple, because what you carry inside you was not meant for careless eyes. It was meant to grow in shadow, to rise in silence, to glow without permission. You are not hiding. You are preserving. You are not withholding. You are honoring. You are not distant. You are home within yourself. The truth is this: not everyone is ready for what lives inside you, and that's okay. You are not here to be received by all. You are here to walk your sacred path, to love quietly, to serve silently, to rise invisibly if need be. Let them judge your silence. Let them write stories to fill the gaps. None of that touches you. None of that reaches the place where your soul lives. Speak when you are called. Reveal when it is safe. But until then, let your stillness be your answer. Let your calm be your sword. Let your privacy be your power. Because the one who keeps their sacred center untouched walks through storms untouched, walks through fire unburned, walks through the world whole. الخاتمة الكاملة للملحمة وبهذا لا تخبر بهذه الأشياء. Not because the world is evil, but because your spirit is rare. Because not every hand can hold glass without shattering it. Because not every soul deserves a seat at your fire. Because what you've built inside yourself was not built for display, but for endurance. Your silence is not the absence of voice. It is the presence of wisdom. And that wisdom will keep you spiritually safe in a world that feeds on what should remain untouched.